Good morning, everybody, and welcome to, of course, the Prime Day Sales and Show. James here, your host, over here on the Jackery channel, of course, today. Now, we got a bunch of great products, but of course, I want to welcome everybody that's already popping in. FP, how are you doing? Good morning. Make sure that all my stuff is set up and we have products going. Now, if you have questions, like always, everybody, please ask them. We will answer them if we can or have answers to those questions. I do have, of course, Lois here with us in chat. She will be popping in and out. She'll be sharing you guys some discount codes and some discount pieces. Diego, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Now, with that, I will say there's a little banner, of course, down there in that corner. That banner is going to rotate. It's going to show you guys some prices of some power stations and the free gift you can get with those power stations. It's also going to show you guys that 5% discount code as well on top of that you could use for anything over $1,000 purchase. Now, you also can get an option of a free hat. Good morning, Lois. Good morning. I want to take a sip of water real quick, guys. Unfortunately, my kid took my cup, so I had to use a Gatorade jug. Yeah, that's one of those ones. Now, that free hat that we are going to talk about, guys, can, of course, and will, is this hat right here. It's got their beautiful Jackery logo. Has, of course, a Velcro back end. That Velcro back end right there is, of course, one size fits most. You'll Velcro it, you'll strip it, and you'll have that, of course, with this. Now, the hat has an extra long bill. It's like the old school baseball cap. There's a reason I'm not wearing it during stream, and that's because the bill is a little bit long and it hides my face, and you guys couldn't see me. And if I wear this hat and it hides my face too much, my AI background removal software will not recognize my voice or my face. So this is the hat you guys can get. This will be perfect out there in that very hot sun, blocking that sunlight while you're doing outdoor activities. This is a cool hat. This, of course, is the free hat. To get that, guys, purchase any portable power station. Add this, of course, and you get this as a free gift. So that is, of course, that option right there. Thank you, Lois, for posting that. J-Lo, good morning. I will have, of course, I believe Phil will be joining us shortly. I'll have Phil or Shauna post that on our other side as well on the other streams for you guys. Now, with it, bunch of very amazing products, a bunch of very amazing prices today that you can save you guys quite a bit and save you guys a little bit of hassle when you need that little power in times of need. Now, we are actually going to start this off with their smallest yet mightiest power station. Now, you guys are going to notice a few extra things laying back here behind me. You're going to see that I brought some more stuff out that I had laying around the house. Going to move around. First and foremost, you're going to see a full array of solar panels down here. I have the 200, I have the 100s, I have the 80, I also have the 100 Prime laying here just for ambiance, but we might show those as well as we go. But we're going to start off with the table. We're going to grab the piece off of the table, and that is this beautiful little power station right here. This is the 100 Plus. Now, the 100 Plus is actually a free option if you get, I believe, I can't remember which one it is that you can get this on. I have to remember. I think it's the 1000 and the 1000 V2 option packages. But if you guys don't get those packages, this is actually coming in at like $89.99 with this one, which is kind of cool. 99 watt hours of power, 31,000 milliamps of power in this little package. This is 2 pounds of weight. The cool part is they did mimic, of course, the bigger stations in the housing, so it looks like one of their bigger ones. What's even better is it's got their cool color pattern. I love the bright orange color pop. Another cool part is guys, 31,000 milliamps, and it's TSA approved, which means you can take this piece on, of course, with your airplane rides. Sheila, don't be making fun of me. Good morning, Sheila. Guys, it's TSA approved, which is kind of cool. That means it can go on an airplane without a problem. It'll go through TSA boarding check. You can take it on a train or a plane or, of course, a bus if you really needed to. It's acceptable and can pass those checks. With this, you do have a couple pieces. First and foremost, it comes with a 100-watt USB-C to USB-C cable. It's a 100-watt pass-through charging capability with that. Now, you also have the USB-C to DC plug. This is going to be for your solar panel. Depending on which solar panel you get, you can actually charge all the way up to the 100-watt solar panel with this. Now, this little thing has got 2 USB-C ports. Those are in and out ports. You also have that USB-A port at 18 watts. You also have a display. And this display is going to show you guys the battery charge. It's also going to show you guys the wattage being drawn and the wattage being put in. So if you're charging this, you'll see the charge rate going in. And if you're using the output, you'll see the output coming out. 31,000 milliamps, 99 watt hours of power, 128 watts means you guys can run a Nintendo Switch for about 4.5 hours by itself. It really is cool. I can't wait to see what the Dune White version looks like in person. There is a Dune White version that you can get on a couple other social medias that is just for that. And it's a really cool look. I believe they showed it off yesterday at a couple things, but really amazing look so far. And in person, I bet you it looks even better. It's a really nice piece. Now, not only can you run a Nintendo Switch for 4.5 hours, you guys can charge your cell phone about 6 times off of this. That's going to be like your iPhone XRs, your iPhone 14s, your 4,000 milliamp batteries. Now, what's even better is you guys can run a Nintendo Switch and a portable monitor. I would actually grab the portable monitor that I have laying here to show you guys, but it is buried at the moment, so I'm not going to pull it out. But you can run that together about 3.5 hours. Under 2-hour charge rate. It will be fully charged in under 2 hours on a wall plug. That's a good charge rate, guys, for a little piece like this, and that's small. Now remember, it doesn't have the standard wall plug. It's all doing it through the 100-watt port. Your max is 100 watts of charge rate. So yes, it's going to take about 2 hours with this. If it could go bigger, I would say, hey, go ahead. But you have the options. And they pair well. This actually would pair well with like the Mini 40 solar panel, or even the 100-watt panel will work on this. For those of you that are, of course, have the original like 80-watt panel, you definitely can do that as well. The 100 Plus, guys, is an amazing little product that's going to do a lot. You can do more things than, like I said, you can run Keystone lights. You guys could actually charge your camera batteries off of this. So you pretty much, whatever a USB-C port can do, and a USB-A port can do, you could run off of this to a point. Really, really nice little option for you guys if you're looking, and TSA approved. I like that. So I saw it too on video yesterday. I haven't seen it in person, but it's actually really, really interesting color theme. To me, they went with the dune theme. To me, it reminds me of like a sand dune, or the color of sand, which is kind of cool. I like that. Now, we're going to pop over to, I believe, the 240 now, the original 240. Now, that's this bad boy right here. This is a cool one. This is, of course, very portable. This weighs less than 7 pounds. It has, of course, a fixed handle, the beautiful, bright Jackery logo. It's got one AC outlet. That AC outlet means you can actually plug in a house plug style things, standard 3-prong American house plugs. Either it be your TV, your lamps, or other devices, you can plug it into this. Now, it does 200 watts of pure sine wave power, can peak at 400. Now, this is 240 watt hours of power in this device of this size. With it, you do have 2 USB-A ports, 5-volt, 2.4 amps. You also have that DC input port for charging it. That's going to be like your wall plug, your cigarette lighter adapter, or solar panel. Now, you also have a DC output port. This is a 12-volt, 10-amp plug. This is going to be like what most people used to call a cigarette lighter adapter plug, right? I'm sure there's a new name for it, but I grew up in the area, like it's a cigarette lighter, right? That's what I used to call it. But you guys can get, of course, those adapters that plug into this to add like USB-C ports or other things, which is kind of cool. Now, the charge time on this is going to be about 3.5 hours, just as it is on a wall plug. Not a bad charge time with that. For those of you that want to charge it on a solar panel, it's going to be a little over, I think it's 5.5 hours on a 100-watt solar panel, if I can remember right. Still not a bad charge time, all right? But max is, of course, that 100-watt solar panel is going to pull out 100 watts at 18 volts. As where you plug it into a wall, you get a little bit quicker charge because you can pull in more wattage through that wall plug. Runtime on this is going to be kind of cool. You're going to get about 15 DSLR or Sony ZV-E10 batteries or Sony ZV-E1 battery recharges. For those of you that want to do the 3S batteries for your drones or your RC cars, Anywhere from 3 to 4 times is what you're going to get with that charge. For those of you doing like your mini coolers, that's going to be like your little mini coolers. You're going to get about 3 hours or so with that 90-watt mini cooler, all right? That's just where it's at. It's just the variation of the actual runtime. Your 60-inch flat screen. Your 60-inch flat screen is about 60 watts of power or so, depending on which flat screen you have. Anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours of runtime with this device. It's a good runtime. The portability is really where it's at because it is very portable. You can carry it. It actually has a flame retardant shell. It's got class 9 drop protection. That class 9 drop protection is like 90 centimeters. So it's not like full on, let's throw it 20 feet in the air and drop it. It's not going to happen. I can tell you though, is I actually dropped it 9 feet off a shelf multiple times. Trying to. Just going to go there. Me being me, accidentally dropped it a couple times trying to pull it in and out for shows because I keep it on a very high shelf when it's not in use for showing purposes. Now, that little white mark, if you guys can see that white mark down there, is the only mark and damage that caused to this device. I can shake this around. There is nothing that makes noise in here. It still works totally fine. I can turn on the screen. You guys can see the screen's at 66% battery. If we want, I can plug it in, grab that, set it up there, and it starts running just like that. That's all it takes. Still works. You don't have to worry about it, and that's actually you have to kind of worry that you damage something. Not telling you to drop it that high, but you know, if accidents happen, that's kind of cool. Now with it, they are individually switched. So if you guys aren't running these plugs, turn the switch off. That LED light will pull power. It pulls a draw. But they are all individually switched with this. This is great for quick emergencies, camping, or traveling, or backpacking. It's just a good thing. Now, for the CPAP users, this is not going to run you like 3 days in a row. It's just not going to happen. Depending on the wattage of your CPAP machine, you may get a full night's sleep off of the 240, which is decently well done. It's not a bad rate of sleep, and it will get you through, of course, one night of emergency, which is going to do well. For those of you that want to extend it out, guys, get the solar panel to this 240, and you're good to go. This is 27% off. It's $175 today. That is a good price point for this station. $170 is perfectly well done. I love this little thing. So, great little option, of course, guys. You guys can get a free hat when buying Power Station. Any questions about the 240? I need to figure another chat system out. Well, if there are no questions about the original 240, we're going to move over to the 240 V2. Now, this is, of course, their newest product line. And that's why it's called V2, version 2 of the 240. And if you guys notice something, it changed shape. That's right, it goes to the square style. It also has a handle that folds down and can be put away. Now, with the 240 V2, it's about 28%. It's $179. It's a great price point. 256 watt hours, so it jumps from 240 to 256. Now, it's got some new technologies in it. First and foremost, it moves from the lithium ion to a LiFePO4 cell. Now, the LiFePO4 cells are actually individually wrapped for protection inside this device. Now, you do have an AC outlet, just like the 240, but this AC outlet goes to 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 6. Now, this actually has 2 USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port in and out. The other is a 15-watt port out only. You also have a 15-watt port USB-A with this. The coupon code is above in chat, but is down there if you need it. I can't speak it out because I can't read it right now, but right there. Thank you, Lois. Now with it, you have the 12-volt 10 amp, of course, plugged like I showed you guys before with the cigarette lighter style. You have a new screen. The screen is kind of cool. So I'm going to power this on. We're going to let it power up. We're going to hit the button. And you guys are going to see that new screen. It's a nice black background with high contrast. You're going to notice that there is a flashing on that screen. That screen is, of course, an indication of your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectability. This works with the app. The app, of course, is Android based and iOS based, which means you guys can run it off of your iPhones or your Samsungs, whatever you choose, your tablets or your Chromebooks. You can download the app and run that. That means you can turn on all of these plugs on the go. Now, this has what's called Charge Shield 2.0 built into it. Charge Shield 2.0 means you guys are jumping to a 1 hour charge rate. 1 hour on a wall plug, fully charged, you're good to go. And I like that. Now, if you have the 100-watt Solar Saga solar panel, it's a 3-hour charge time with that. And that's all it's going to take with the 3-hour with the 100-watt single panel. Also, if you want, use that single USB-C port, fully charged on a USB-C to USB-C adapter at 2 hours, you're good to go. Now, that's a good charge time. Running this device, of course, guys, Bluetooth speaker, like a 10-watt Bluetooth speaker is going to give you about 16 hours of runtime. Still about 4 drone battery charges, 4.5, really depends. 12 to 13 phone charges and your laptop. Now, you can run your house fan off of this, of course, the 45-watt house fan for multiple hours, about 4 hours or so on this device. For those of you that want to do that 90-watt mini fridge, about 2 hours of runtime as well. 1 second. I do apologize, everybody. Allergies are kicking me. I just ordered 2 more solar panels. Oh, right on, right on. Sweet. You ordered more solar panels. Nice, nice. Now with this, like I said, guys, your mini fridge, about 2 hours of runtime. But for those of you that want to run your Wi-Fi router to get your internet going, 14 hours of runtime on that 15-watt Wi-Fi router. For those of you that have like pets or other pieces or pets or animals that need a heating pad when your power goes out, 6 hours of runtime on that 30-watt heating pad or heating light. And that's kind of cool that you could do that and run this off of this. Now, the station alone is about $179 by itself. It's a great station, still about 8 pounds of weight, so it is very light, very acceptable, very easy to carry. It uses and moves from the round DC plug to a wall plug style, 3-prong, with the grounded stuff. But we have the 240, if I can get my carousel to work. We have the 240 and, of course, a solar panel option for you. That's going to be this Mini 40 solar panel. This Mini 40 solar panel is a beautiful little piece that can be carried in your backpack. And I really like that. Use a sub pump if it goes out. Your sub pumps is probably a 60-watt pump. If I can, most water wells and sub pumps I think are about 60 watts of power. So like the 2000 is going to be a recommendation, but if you want to make sure it runs for a long time, I'm going to tell you the 1000 plus, the 3000 Pro, and the 3000 plus is going to get you through about a couple days without a problem with that. It really just depends on how long you need it to run and the power of that sump pump. So that really just it really does go by what power rating your pump is at. Now, the Mini 40 solar panel is actually kind of cool with this because it's the size of a notebook and can be fit in your backpack. It is actually about 2 pounds of weight. Has a magnetic clasp that opens up, fully waterproof and water resistant. Yeah, no problem, Scotty. Literally, if you know the wattage, there is actually a math algorithm to it, so you can do the math to it to see what the runtime is to compare to pretty much any of these stations. It really just goes by the wattage draw of the device that you're plugging into it. Now, like I said, fully waterproof, water resistant, harsh and wet weather. It is a trifold design, but a quad panel. This kit right here is about $249. And now that I put it like this, it became a hearing magnifier. Now I hear all the fan moving around me. But great little piece. I love this whole package. To have a package of this caliber in this size is really cool. So right there, great option for you, of course. Let's see here. And like I said, this is $249, guys. Great deal with that. Jump with the solar panel option. Hey, thank you, Lois, for posting that. If you have any questions, Scotty, Lois is in chat. She might be able to help you with the math algorithm or help you with a little bit of steering to certain items that would probably work a little better for you. So both great options for you. Now we're going to move into the 300. Now the 300 is their original 300. And we're going to get into that. We're going to show you guys. I'm going to have to move over to the table. We're going to grab it, of course. Still portable. Still 7 pounds of weight. Now it moves back to, of course, the fixed handle because this is one of the originals. Has their beautiful Jackery logo on this. Now this is kind of cool because it's 293 watt hours of power. Can the 40 watt solar power charge the power bank? Charge which power bank? If you mean like a standard power bank, not going to say yes because you'll have to have an adapter for like a USB-C port. If you're talking about the power station, yes, that 40 watt panel will charge that power station that I just showed you at about 7 hours. I think it's like 7.5 hours. It does and will charge these little stations. Yeah, no problem. And technically these little stations you can actually run off of the bigger solar panels too. You can plug in the 100 watt panel. You can actually plug in the 100 Prime. If you have some of the original 80s, you can do that, and so on. Now, 293 watt hours of power charged in 3.5 hours. So now where this changes in that charge rate is there's actually a USB-C port that's a 60 watt in and out port. If you charge from that 60 watt port and the wall plug, you can have this charged in 2 hours. Oh yeah, I totally get that. Any of these would work really great, Kindle customer. It really depends on what devices you really want to run and how long you want to run those pieces. We can definitely suggest certain items for you, depending on how much you really want to run out of your house. So like the littler stations are going to be more geared towards quick emergencies, smaller devices. Now, yes, this 300 can power that flat screen TV back there for multiple hours. It could also run your Wi-Fi router, but it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to run my house fridge or my kitchen stove off of the smaller one. So it really just gears towards which devices you're trying to plug in and run with that. Now this has got 2 AC outlets to do 300 watts of pure sine wave power and can peak at 600 watts, which means, yes, you definitely could put a 520 watt refrigerator onto this, but it's not going to run for an hour. It's going to run for about half an hour with that. Now you do have 2 USB-A ports, 5 volt, 2.4 amps DC plug, and of course that cigarette lighter. Now it is still the fixed housing, still 7 pounds of weight. Really good charge cycle. Of course, like I said, 3.5 hours on a wall plug by itself, or 2 hours if you use the wall plug and that USB-C port. Where this is going to work is you can run a Nintendo Switch for about 40 hours off of this device. The Nintendo Switch is about 18 watt device, so you can run that for about 40 hours. For those of you that want to do your drones, about 6 times with this, of course, on hand. If you want to run that little mini cooler, that's going to be like your little car fridge or your little dorm fridge, about 4 hours of runtime off of this. For your laptop, about 4 hours as well. For the phone users, about 26 or so times. Just your Lighthouse Fan Instant. Your Instant Pot is actually going to draw a little bit more power than you would probably think it draws. So you're going to need like the 500 or bigger for the Instapot. Now, if you're just wanting to run like a 45 watt tower fan like I have over here, you'll get approximately 4.5 hours of runtime off of the 240 V2 and of course the 300. If you're doing the light as well, it's going to be like your standard 5 watt light bulb, which is like your smaller LEDs that can be ran, of course, for multiple hours without a problem as well on the smaller ones. But the Instapot does pull some power. It really, and of course, then again, like I said, it really depends on the size of that Instapot if you're trying to, and how much food you're trying to cook. So, 300, 198 bucks, guys, in a small little package like this. Now, we also have the 300 with the 100 watt solar panel. Now, that 100 watt solar panel is actually blocked by a 200 watt panel. I'm going to grind this. Let's move some stuff. This kit together comes with, of course, the larger solar panel. You're going to get this station and this solar panel for $399. Now, this panel is still fully waterproof, water resistant. It has, of course, kickstands, ETFE laminated handle, and is IP68 water rating. Can be used outside. Now, fully monocrystalline solar cells that will charge at 100 watts at 18 volts of charge rate for your devices. On the back, it does, of course, have the cabling in a pouch. It also has a USB-C port and a USB-A port with this. This is actually kind of cool. Is there a link to the E1000? That's 52% off. If you scroll through the carousel at the bottom of the show, you will actually see it in the show for that 52% price off. I can't grab it. Lois might be able to grab it for you, Terry. So if she can grab it for you, she will definitely do that. She's in chat. We will try to get it for you. So this is, of course, that package for $399, guys. You get the 300 and the 100-watt solar panel. Beautiful solar panel. I've actually used the solar panel quite a bit now, and it works every time I need it to work like it should. So cool options right there. I don't actually have access to grab that link, or I would grab it for you. Lois, Terry in chat is looking for the E1000. That's 52% off. All right, guys, we're going to move over to the 500. I believe we're almost coming up to the 1000 as well in a few, so we can do that as well in a few. Now, we're going to do the 500 watts power supply or power station. This is, of course, a really cool one at $299. Now, that's actually this bigger device right here. Still has the fixed handle. Also has a flashlight on the side on this one. The flashlight does standard mode and SOS pattern. With it, it has, of course, 518 watt-hours of power and a package of this size. Now, this weighs, of course, 13 pounds. Now, with it, you have one AC outlet that does 500 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 1,000. Technically, you can plug in a window AC into this and run it for about a half an hour if you needed to. Now, it's got 3 USB-A ports and, of course, the very beautiful cigarette lighter plug or 12-volt 10-amp plug and 2 DC plugs outputs. You also have DC input. Now with this, of course, your charge rate on this is actually really cool. Now this is 40% off today with that. Your charge rate of 518 watt-hours of power is about 5.5 hours on a wall plug, or 7.5 hours with that 100-watt solar panel. Now, the Explorer 500 is a really good one. It's going to get you through more emergencies. You'll be able to run a CPAP machine for at least 2 days off of this without a problem. You'll be able to run your house lamps and other pieces as well, and it's really, really nice for that. Now, what we're going to talk about is other devices that could be definitely plugged in and ran, from like your air pumps. If you guys wanted to go rafting and use inflatable rafts, your air pump on those rafts can be ran for about 8 hours on this. Your flat screen TV, about 7 hours. Your electric blanket, I think, is like 4 hours of runtime. What I'm going to tell you is it's that time of year where everybody's doing backyard barbecues or having fun outside. Plug in a projector and throw up a movie and have a movie night and enjoy the day. This will run that projector for about 5 hours of runtime. Now, if you use this, of course, and you have a projector, you might have to have an inflatable screen. Well, you might have to use a different one because it's got a single plug. Cool part is some of those inflatable scenes or inflatable projectors now use a USB-C port. So you guys can actually plug in a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter adapter and run it off of that if you really wanted to. Now, like I said, 13 pounds of weight isn't bad, but it's still very carryable. It's acceptable. Class 9 fire retardant shell, Class 9 drop protection. It still has the silicone pad so you don't mar up the surfaces with this. This is a beautiful one, 40% off. It's like $299. That's a great price point. But I would definitely say, hey, grab the 500 and let's add a solar panel to it. We do have this, of course, 500 and the 100-watt solar panel that I just showed you for about $479. That means you can have this fully charged outside in about 7 hours of runtime with that solar panel. One thing I always tell you is, guys, if you are using the plugs while charging it, remember, if you're taking more power out than you're putting in through the solar panel, you may get to a point where the solar panel and the station doesn't have the power. It can't keep up. Yes, you can still use all these plugs, but that 100-watt panel is only going to pull in so much power. If you're pulling out 500 watts of power and you're only inputting 100, you know, it's just the thing. But you could still do it, and that's actually kind of cool. Did you miss the E300? The original 300? You kind of missed the 300, yes. We just showed the 300 and the 300 with the solar panel kit. I can grab it and give it to you another quick look if that's what you would like. So this is the E300, if this is the one you're talking about. So this is the E300, 293 watt hours of power, dual AC outlets, 300 watts of pure sine wave power, can peak at 600, has a USB-C port, 60 watt port, in and out port, 2 USB-A ports, and a DC input plug that has a DC output plug for your cigarette lighter over here as well. It does, of course, have the screen, the display. I'll show you guys right there. This will take about 3.5 hours on the wall plug to charge. If you use the wall plug and that USB-C port, 2 hours, you're good to go. If you add the mini or the 100 watt solar panel, of course, you can actually have it up and charged and running as well with that without an issue. It really just depends on the panel that you're using. If it's the Mini 40, it's going to take a little longer. If you have the 100 watt panel, about 4.5 hours. The cigarette lighter adapter that plugs into your car, about 3.5 hours as well with this. The E300 is going to allow you to run like a Nintendo Switch for over 40 hours without a problem. Your house fans and other devices as well with that. Let's say you guys want to do like drone batteries, over 5 to 6 charges with a drone battery. Your mini cooler about 4.5 hours. Your laptop about 4 hours of runtime. That 60 watt flat screen TV about 4.5 hours. So this is the E300, if that's the one you're talking about. We had 2 variations. The station by itself for $198 or the station with the solar panel for $399. The solar panel that comes with that, of course, is the 100 watt solar panel right here. So, did that answer your question, Daniel? I'm always willing to jump back and show you guys stuff. Believe we were on the 500 and solar panel. $479 price tag for the 500 and solar panel. A great option. Definitely worth getting if you're looking for an option like this. So, beautiful little kit right here. This is actually a nice little station. Kia, thank you for the follow. Amazon customer, thank you for the follow, of course, as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little spiel before we move on, and I'm going to actually say a few things. First and foremost, there is a 5% coupon code down there for purchases over $1,000. So if you guys purchase anything over $1,000, is that code you can use to get another 5% off. There are a few free gifts out there today as well. If you guys get the, I believe it's the 3000 kit with the solar panels and the 1000 V2, you'll either get the 100 plus or the 300 plus station with those. There is also the free hat gift out there as well. That hat is this hat right here with the Jackery logo and the Velcro back. Now, this is going to fit most people. It is one size fit most. It's not going to fit everybody, like your little kids and stuff. But it's a nice little hat, nice little gift option for you. So, definitely worth checking out so you have that on hand. I think we're moving into a new station. So, if you guys have not seen some of the newer ones, we're going to show you guys one of those right now. This is, of course, the 600 plus. Now, we're going to start with just the station. We're going to bounce over here, and you're going to be like, oh, well, hey, what's up with this? Well, my camera froze, and I'm not sure why it froze, but let me fix that real quick. There we go. Not sure where the camera froze, but it froze. Let's zoom on in. We have no app, so I can't zoom in. What? All right, bear with me, everybody. We're going to get this fixed really quick like. But we are going to definitely show you guys the 600 plus. Now, if I have to grab it and do it by hand, I will definitely do that. I don't have a problem doing it. The 600 plus is actually 632 watt hours of power and a beautiful little package that's going to do well for you. Now, with that, we're going to zoom on in. All right, got the app working so we can actually zoom in there. This is the 600 plus. This has got a bunch of new technologies, including Charge Shield 2.0. Now, Charge Shield 2.0 is an actual cool charge rate that's going to quick charge this device in a 1 hour charge time on a wall plug. Now, with this, you do have 2 AC outlets to do 800 watts of pure sine wave power. That's straight flat power with this. Yes. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. It will definitely run your CPAP machine for 8 hours without an issue. Now, your ResMed, you will have to check out the wattage with the ResMed. Now, if the wattage of the ResMed is like a 40 watt thing, you will do the math at 632 by the math. But should run it depending on the wattage of your machine. I wouldn't see an issue with that. Oh yeah, it's so. I've ran a CPAP machine off of the 240, and I got pretty much almost a night's rest. So you can definitely do it, but of course I have a really low power CPAP machine. Yeah. Now back to this. Yeah, right there. There is the calculation for it. If you really want a CPAP machine or a machine that's gonna run your CPAP machine most of the night, I'm gonna always recommend the 1000 and up stations. It's just my recommendation because then you are worried free about how long you can run it, and you don't have to worry. But this one should definitely run your CPAP machine for a good night's rest. Now, like I said, 800 watts of pure sine wave power through the two AC outlets, but can peak at 1600, so you can plug in more powerful devices with that. It does have two USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port, of course, and the other is a 30-watt USB-C port. You also have that 18-watt USB-A port down there as well. The station by itself is $399, but we have the station and a solar panel as well, and we'll show you guys the solar panel in this kit in a second. Charge time, like I said, 1 hour on a wall plug, you're good to go. You can run a car refrigerator for about 6 hours off of this. Your laptop about 7 hours as well. For those of you that want to do that 1150 watt window AC, you're not going to get a full hour, but you can run it without a problem. Your 10 watt Bluetooth speaker should be able to run about 36 hours with that. For those of you that want to run your 520 watt refrigerator, you're going to get about a 1 hour runtime. Your 60 watt flat screen TV, and this is probably where you're going to read be about the same as your CPAP machine. 60 watts will run for about 8 hours of runtime. So your 60 watt flat screen TV can run for 8 hours without an issue. Your 45 watt house fans can run over 10 hours on this device. 5 hours of your 100 watt projectors. Now with it though, this kit, the 600 Plus by itself weighs about 16 pounds. If you want though, you have the kit with the solar panel, and the solar panel is a really nice option. They changed up the 100 right here. This is the solar panel that's going to come in that kit. It's got, of course, this clippable clip that's going to open it up. It's got kickstands that Velcro on, but are nice and hard for you. It has, of course, the handle that's there. This is a trifold design. It is a quad panel, though. It's got 4 panels. So it's a nice, large solar panel. This is going to grab 100 watts at 18 volts for you in charge rate. Now, fully waterproof, water resistant, and harsh and wet weather. It's an IP68 rating, so you don't have to worry about the rain with this. Now, it is lightweight. This is very carryable without an issue. It is a monocrystalline solar cell, so it's going to grab that light where it should. About 23.4% conversion rate of converting light to power, even in low light settings, which is kind of cool. This is the 100 watt panel. Now, that station, the 600 Plus, and this 100 watt panel is about $599 today. This is an amazing panel to have in the kit. Definitely worth checking out. Now, if you want to run other things, you can definitely run a toaster, like the toaster oven, 650 watt toaster oven, for about almost an hour-ish or time. For those of you that really just need that coffee, you're going to get about an hour runtime on a 500 watt coffee maker, right? I'm not going to tell you can run everything. Where it's really cool is if you really wanted to, though, you could run, like, inflatable decorations off of this, your Christmas tree lights. Let's say it's Christmas time, the power's out, but you want to have that tree lit up for when the kids wake up. Plug your tree into that and let it run it. You have no problems with it. And that way everybody can still sit around and enjoy Christmas morning, unwrapping presents in front of the Christmas lights without an issue. And that's a nice option to do that. Very lightweight, very carryable. It has, of course, that handle that folds up. Now, it's got 2 different plug styles on the side. First and foremost, it's got that 3 prongs, like your computer plug, for a wall adapter that's going to give you that 1 hour charge rate. For the solar panel, it's going to move back to, of course, the round DC port. It's on the side as well. Cooling technology, of course, it's got about 4,000 charge cycles before it drops down to about 70 to 80% battery life after 10 years. And then it'll still run longer than that. It's just the LiFePO 4 cells, after 10 years of use or so many charge cycles, will drop down. It's just the way it is. Another cool part is it's got what's called intelligent battery management systems and temperature sensors. It also works with the app. And the app I'm going to kind of show you guys right now. So I'm going to grab a phone and we're going to show you guys the app with this. Now the app, completely free, works with iOS or Android. You guys can use multiple devices on the app just like I am right here. Now, I'm going to just grab the 3000 Pro. We're going to pop it up and say this is your 600 Plus. It's going to show you guys the battery charge that's left on the device. It's going to show you guys the temperature it's running at. Now, today it is running a little bit hotter, and that's because it's like 96 degrees outside and warm in my apartment. I'm actually sweating, which is crazy. Now, you can actually turn on and off, of course, the actual switches right here. You can do the DC plugs, the AC plugs. You guys can do, of course, standby modes, time modes. You guys can go into, of course, energy saving modes, and you guys can do energy saving, and you can do run times. The best part is you can turn on and off these switches on a go. So let's say you have the 600 Plus plugged in, but you didn't want that device running. You hit the switch, and it's going to shut off, of course, like the lighting I just did with that. It's going to take you less than 20 milliseconds to come back on. Right there, the lighting should come on in any second, just like that. That's all it takes. That's all it is. Now remember, very acceptable, very easy to use app. To add devices, you're going to go up to the top of the app, you're going to hit the plus symbol, and you're going to pull up the icon. The icon will start flashing, and it'll start scanning for devices. I have no other device turned on right now that actually has the app, but that's really where it's at with this. So, guys, cool piece, nice little app, completely free. You don't have to worry about the app. Great options. Now, that's the 600 and 600 Plus with solar panel. What we're going to move into is the 1000, the E1000. Now, the E1000 is actually $479 today. You heard me right, $479. That's a great price point. Now, we're going to show you guys the station, of course, as it is. We're going to move over here, and you're going to be like, that's not it. You're right. It's up there. Way up there. You guys didn't realize I had so many stations, did you? We're going to move on into that. That is the E1000. Now, the E1000 is, of course, original housing device. It is 1,002 watt-hours of power, $479 today. This is where it's going to get kind of cool. 1,002 watt-hours of power with 3 AC outlets. Those 3 AC outlets do 1,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 2,000 watts. You also have 2 USB-A ports. One's a 5-volt 2.4 amp. The other is a quick charge 3.0. You also have 2 USB-C ports as well on top of that. You still have that DC plug, and you have a flashlight like the 500 on the side of this device. Now, this station does weigh approximately 22 pounds of weight, so it does have a little bit of weight with this. It is, of course, original lithium ion. It's not the LiFePO4 cell, though. Now, where it changes from the 500 to the 1000 on this one is it's got what's called Anderson clip plug. The Anderson clip plug is going to allow your solar panels to plug in for 2 solar panels. Now, your charge time, of course, is going to be approximately 5 hours on a wall plug, 11.5 hours in your car on a cigarette lighter adapter. For this station alone, it's about $479, which is a great deal. But we also have the station and dual solar panels. So you guys can get the E1000 and 2 solar panels for $799. That's a 52% savings. That's a great savings right there. Now, running devices off of this, because you do have 1,002 watt-hours of power. You're getting 2 solar panels in this kit. 6 hours charge time with those solar panels outside. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're starting to want to run devices, you can run a mini cooler for about 13 hours of runtime with this. For those of you that want to run that 5-watt light bulb, 65 hours of runtime with that 5-watt light bulb. It's going to get you through multiple days without an issue. You heard me right. Multiple days of lighting without an issue. For those of you that want to turn on, of course, a heated blanket, you're going to get about 11 hours of runtime. Now, your flat screen TV is a 9 hours, and that's like a 60-watt flat screen TV. That's a good runtime. So if you're running a CPAP machine, you should get about the same or a little bit more with that, depending on the CPAP machine. My CPAP machine is actually 40-ish watts, so I definitely get more runtime than some of the others that are out there. So really cool option with this. Both great prices, and 52% off. You can't go wrong with that. Now, remember, if you get, of course, the E1000 and the solar panels, guys. It's a great price point. It's going to help you out. It's going to do very, very amazing stuff. Cool. Another cool idea is you guys are going camping and you take electric griddles to make like pancakes in the morning while you're camping. Not everybody does that, but some people do. Your electric griddle should be able to run for about 50 minutes or so, depending on the griddle you have. And I kind of like that idea. Another thing is like your inflatable Christmas decorations yet again. Leave the solar panels on, let it charge throughout the day, then plug the lights in and let those run at night. It's not a real heavy draw on Christmas lights if you're using LED form. So you should get a good amount of runtime at night for those lights. Now, most of those people are only running it from, of course, dusk till, midnight or so, and they shut it off. You'll get that runtime with this. And that's a really amazing option. You're probably wondering how loud these stations are. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're actually not loud at all. I believe the loudest one that we have here is actually the largest, and it's still only about 30 plus decibels or so. It's very, very quiet. You really don't hear it. Most of your hearing is the switches coming on and off, or the fan technology in the very larger ones. Some of them do have fans for that. So, really cool piece right there. And of course, if you're spending over $1,000, save yourself 5% using that code. If you want to step up, though, we can show you guys the 1000 V2. Now, the 1000 V2, and I can actually drop back down the table, is blocked over here in the corner today. It is right there, right next to the 600 Plus. There is definitely a power station in front of it, and I'm going to try and move that real quick for you. That's the 1000 V2. That is version 2. Now, this actually jumps up in power. It's 1,070 watt-hours of power. But where it moves from the original to this one is it is a LiFePO 4 cell. It also has Charge Shield 2.0. That Charge Shield 2.0 means you're fully charged in a 1-hour charge rate on a wall plug. I love that idea. That's where I want to be, is a quicker charge rate for me personally, because I need to be up and running. Now, this has 3 AC outlets. The 3 AC outlets on this one will do 1,500 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 3,000. So you can plug in a table saw into this if you really wanted to and run that. No issues. Now, for those of you that don't want to use the quick charge and you want to use, of course, the quiet charging mode, you can do that via app and put it into quiet charging mode, and it's about 5 hours of charge time at 22 decibels of sound. So it drops down quieter. If you want to use that USB-C port on the front, under 2 hours, you're fully charged. Now, you do have 2 USB-Cs. One's a 100-watt port in and out. Then you have a 30-watt port. You also have the 18-watt USB-A at the bottom and the 12-volt cigarette lighter. Now, this has actually got a flashlight. The flashlight does double modes brightness and SOS pattern on top of that. All of these switches can be controlled via app. So you guys turn on the app and you can switch on the switch or turn on the flashlights by the app. And I kind of like that. I wish I bought my generator. Not sure when you bought it, Rob. Not sure when you bought it. I do know sometimes Amazon, if you bought it within like a couple days, they do kind of will do kind of a price change. I'm not really guaranteeing that though. I don't work for Amazon, so yeah, that's definitely a bummer, man. Gives you an option to get another one though. All right, guys, with it, of course, you guys can run multiple devices with this. You can run your projectors, you can run your space heaters, you can run, of course, crock pots and other devices on this piece. 1,070 watt-hours of power means you can run a Bluetooth speaker for over 50 hours without a problem. For those of you that want to do a heated blanket, 12 hours of runtime. Your laptop, about 14 hours or so with this, and that's nice. Your phones. I'm not going to go into phones. Normally I do, but anywhere from 60 charges or so off of this, just depending on that. Now, it is definitely about 7.5 times faster at charging than the original one if you're using the wall plug, because you have that 1-hour charge rate instead of 5 hours. Very green energy efficient, 10% more efficient than with the bifacial solar panels if you guys get the bigger panels. Now, this is where it's cool, because the 1000 V2 by itself, guys, is $599 by itself. But if you want to get the 1000 V2 and the solar panel, that's going to be their 200-watt solar panel. This can actually run the 200-watt solar panel on charge rate. And I kind of like that. Now, I will tell you, though, if you have 2 of those solar panels, 2 of the 200-watt panels, 3 hours fully charged with that. And that's actually really nice to know. I love that you can do that, of course. You can actually have that charge rate, do that charge rate, and run it with that. Right there, guys, if you guys buy that station and, of course, those panels, you'll get either the E1000 Plus or you'll get the 240 V2 with the 3000 Pro. So you do have options with those stations. 1000 V2, really amazing station. I love the station. It's done very, very well since I've gotten it, of course, to test it and play with it. We had it out just yesterday outside. I had a couple things plugged in for it for a few minutes. I was actually charging some lighting off it earlier. I was attempting to charge a cell phone, but looks like the cell phone quit on me. Hey, Wiley, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Now, another cool idea is, guys, if you get one of these, Jackery does make what's called a battery charging cable adapter. They do have an adapter that will plug into some of these stations. You can get those. You can also get carrying bags. At the end of the carousel that we have, there are 3 sizes of carrying bags for certain stations. So you guys can get a carrying bag to carry it around when you're traveling and everything with any. Any word on the 3-into-1 connections for up to 6 panels? The 3-into-1, are you talking about the orange cabling with the 3 DC plugs? Or are you talking about the Anderson clip style? Technically, Rob, I don't work for Jackery, but I do have Lois in chat who does work for Jackery, and she might be able to answer that for you. Yeah, not a problem. I'm just wondering which plug you're talking about, because I know there are 2 variations. I have the Anderson plug style, but I do know there is an orange one that's around DC that actually does the 1-into-3. So not really sure which plug you were talking about. But if you can clarify that a little, I'm sure Lois can check on that for you. Okay, so that's going to be the DC round plug, the 1-into-3. Lois, do you know if there's an ETA on if they'll be restocked at all? Hey, what's up, Phil? And while we're doing that, waiting for that, we're going to talk about the 2000 Pro station. Now, the 2000 Pro is on the opposite side of the table. It's right, of course, there. It is, of course, being covered by a station in the back. First and foremost, we're going to show you guys the bag. Because all of these stations are going to come with, of course, a carrying bag and a cabling kit. Depending on the station you have, you'll come with different kits, of course, with that. You may get, of course, the orange house plug, right this, or you may get the old school black power brick style with the DC round plug. You'll also either get a variation of a cigarette lighter adapter to charge your car in a car. For those of you that may need a solar panel adapter, depending on the station, it may come with, of course, one of these with that, and that's actually kind of cool. Best and expensive one for a CPAP machine. I'm going to tell you the 1000 V2 is going to be a great option to run it all day. The 600 Plus could do it for a night. But the 1000 V2 option is probably going to be your best bet. I'm going to always gear you towards over 1,000 watts. That way you can make sure that you can get through a full night's sleep and then some. Some of us like to sleep over 8 hours. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. Most of us that use CPAP machines don't even sleep a full 5 hours. It's just the way we are. I do use a CPAP machine. I've used 500 watt to get through a night of sleep, but I don't sleep a full 8 hours. But yeah, I'm going to say the 1000 in range and up is going to be your best bet, Brian. So all the stations do come with the cabling, so you guys can charge them up and, of course, connect them up to solar panels. That's a really cool thing. Now, we're going to move in, of course, to the 2000 Pro that we were just about to talk about right here. That is that station right there, and, of course, the wind blew the tablecloth, which is whatever. Let's see if we can set you guys up with a little better angle and view. That's the 2000 Pro. Yeah, Lois, he was wondering if there was an ETA on the restock or not. So 2000 Pro is 2,160 watt hours of power with this. It does have 3 AC outlets at 2200 watts of pure sine wave power, can peak at 4400 watts. Now, with this, of course, you do have 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports. The USB-C ports are 100-watt ports. The USB-A ports are 18-watt ports as well. Now, you do have a flashlight that's hidden in there. You also have a hidden 12-volt 10-amp light plug. And that is actually underneath, of course, these little plugs right here. This does dual mode brightness and SOS pattern for you. It also has, of course, that high contrast screen. That's going to show you guys the battery wattage, the input and output with this. Now, your 12-volt 10-amp plug is over here, hidden behind the other port and plug as well. Now, they are all individually switched, so if you guys want to, just hit that switch, turn them on, or turn them off. Now, this device does weigh approximately 43 pounds, so it does weigh a little bit of weight with this size. Now, 2160 watt-hours of power. The station by itself is, of course, $999. It's a good price point at 47% off. But you also have the option of this power station and a solar panel. That's going to be the 200-watt solar panel. That is a $1,299 price tag. Now, 2160 watt-hours of power is only going to take 2 hours to run. 2 hours of charge rate is all it's going to take to actually charge this device on a wall plug. Now, that's actually a good charge rate. Class 9 drop protection. Has all the ports you could ever want. But the 2160 watt-hours of power means you can run, let's say, 1150 watt window AC for about 2 hours of runtime. For those of you that want to do like your double door Kenwood or, of course, Samsung standard fridges, 3¼ hours of runtime is what you're going to get off of this on usage. That means you guys can have your fridge running for a few hours to get it back and cool, to keep it cool longer. 5 hours with the blender, right? I mean, it's just one of them things. But with the solar panel, you're going to have that charge rate that's going to get you going, of course, as you want. If you have 6 of those panels, if you have 6 of them connected to this, guys, it's about 2½ hours fully charged. You're good to go. You don't have to worry. Bob's your uncle, right? And that's just the way it works. The 2 hours on a wall plug is really nice because it does charge quite quick. 46% off today. Now, with that being said, because it is over $1,000, we have that 5% code right there that just showed up. We'll actually have that reshared in chat for you. You can get another 5% off of this purchase. That's a good price point and a great deal. This one's actually ran quite a bit of things. I've actually had it doing Halloween decorations. I've actually had one of my gaming PCs plugged into this, and I'm not saying my video editing system. I'm talking about my 800-watt power supply one. I've had that plugged in, and I ran it for a few hours without a problem. I will tell you that my big video monitoring, video editing system, 1200-watt power supply, does not like these stations. They can run them, it just doesn't run long enough for me. So do know that they have their limitations. This has actually been plugged into a table saw. It was plugged into the Cobalt table saw. It's just, standard low style table saw, right? I actually had it plugged into that. We were using it to chop up wood for a speaker box. It did fine. It actually ran perfectly well. It was a great test for this. Because of the power draw of them saws, it ran for about an hour and a half of runtime, which is decent for me. Of course, I also don't think it was fully charged at the time, but really depends on what you're using with this. Now, it does have, like I said, 8 ports of connectability, 2160 watt-hours of power, 2200 watts of pure sine wave power, but can do 4400. That's a great draw on one of these and a nice little station. So if you're looking for that, definitely check it out. Now we're going to move into their largest standalone system. Now, I'm going to bounce up onto the table. You're going to see 2 very large systems at the bottom. We're actually showing you guys the one right there. That is the 3000 Pro. Now, the 3000 Pro is a really, really beautiful station. $1,899 by itself. Now, it is, of course, 3,024 watt-hours of power with this. I already have the 2 Explorer 3000 Pros. And oh, nice. Right on. Yeah, it's a beautiful station. I love it. Now, the 3000 Pro is a large station. It's 64 pounds by itself. They did, of course, make it look like a suitcase, so you guys can actually roll it around on the 3-inch large wheels. It also has a telescopic aluminum handle that will fold up and, of course, tip and roll around with it. I love the option that they added that handle. What I will tell you is, though, do not stack other power stations on it when you're wheeling it around. It's just one of them things. You don't really want to do that. I learned my lesson on that by rolling it around the house. But it's cool that they added those wheels. Now, it does still have the big orange handles on the side, so you can lift it up. Now, 64 pounds, yes, I can lift it, but it's not always the best thing to lift alone. Sometimes team lift is your friend. I don't do it. It's just one of them things. Now, 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power through the 5 AC outlets. It's got 4 standard 3-prong American, and then it's also got the larger one for like your TIG or MIG welders, or your old school washers and dryers, your old school stoves, and other pieces. Still 3,000 watts, but can peak at 6,000. That means you can actually plug in a TIG or MIG welder and run your 5,800 watt welding machine off of this for about a little over an hour. To be able to do that off of a station of this type is really amazing. Now, just like some of the others, it's got 2 USB-C ports, 100 watts charging capability, 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts charging capability. Still has that 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter adapter as well with this. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I actually had my wife's KitchenAid mixer plugged into this to do a cake. And it's definitely a powerhouse. Now, if you guys know anything about the KitchenAid mixers, they suck a lot of power. And unfortunately, it sits on my counter most of the time, just being a decoration. I'm just going to shake my head at that one, and my wife's probably watching at work, and now I'm sleeping on the couch. It's all good. We'll sleep on the couch. Now, like I said, the station by itself is $1,899. But we have it with, of course, 2 solar panels. Now, remember, this kit actually comes with a gift. So you can actually get, I believe it's the 300 plus system with this, or is it the 240 V2? It's actually the 240 V2 that comes in this as a gift. So this is actually kind of cool. So you're going to get the 2 Solar Saga 200 watt panels. You're going to get the station, of course, for $21.99. Now you take that 5% off, and you're going to get it for like $20.89. And you're also going to get that free gift. Now your charge time with that, of course, is going to take about 2.5 hours on a wall. 2.5 hours on a wall plug to charge this, if I can remember right. If you have 6 of those solar panels, it's going to be about 3.5 hours with that. So you can have it charged in about 3.5 hours on that. Now, it's cool because it is, of course, 324 watt hours of power, which means you can run your window AC for a little, about 3 hours or so, your refrigerator for about 5 hours, your flat screen TV for 35 hours. You heard me right, 35 hours. You can have those kids sitting in front of that TV and out of your hair during a blackout. Sorry, I had to go there. I don't always use my KitchenAid, but I do. It's my wife really, really wanted it. She got it as a gift. She just doesn't use it as much as I would have hoped she used it because I like to eat cake. This body was built by cake. Now, you guys could do other things. Let's say you guys want to use this station to run your garage equipment. You could do that. You could even run a lawnmower off of this, which is actually nice. Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. I did not know you could do your e-bike. So how many charges do you get off your e-bike with that? I would love to know. I'm actually intrigued with that one, Rob. Now, like I was saying, guys, your 5,800 watt welding machine, that's going to be, of course, a large welding machine. A little over 1 hour runtime. For those of you using your weed eaters or electric lawnmowers, about 2.5 to 3 hours of runtime. Your electric chainsaws or pruning saws, about 2 hours. Your hand drills, of course, your electric drills are anywhere from 400 to 600 watts usually. You're going to get around 6 hours of runtime. For those of you that need it for like your electric water pumps, for your sump pumps, your well pumps, those are about 60 watts usually, I think, and they're going to be about 32 hours of runtime if you do the math with that, and that's a nice idea. If you really want to, 101 times of your iPhone batteries. Only charged it up once so far. That's really awesome. I'm glad to know that because that we've had that question before. I don't have an e-bike, so I've never been able to test that myself. But it's good to know. Your 3-watt light bulb. Let's go there. Your 3-watt to 5-watt light bulb. That's your standard LED bulb, guys. 220 hours. Your CPAP machine on this one should be able to run for over 300 hours without a problem. All right, just going there. Because it's got a good power range. It's going to be able to do 300 watts. It's a beautiful station. I love this standalone station. It works with the app. The pure sine wave is really, yeah, you're right. The pure sine wave is awesome because it has no peaks. So you don't have to worry about the device that's plugged into it. Like if you guys have ever seen lightning hit a power pole and you get a power spike, that's not pure waves. Having a pure wave means you have no spikes. You don't have to worry about your device getting fried that's connected to it. It's a great thing with that. It's still very quiet. And since it is over 3,000 kilowatts, right, guys, you actually unlock what's called the 30% tax credit. You'll have to check with your state and check with your energy company to see if they offer the residential clean energy credit program for the device you're using. But that is out there for you, which is actually nice. If you really wanted to, guys, there is an option like I think it's like a wall plug adapter, so you can use it as a UPS with it, which is kind of cool. There is in Florida. Yeah. There you go. There it is in Florida. Yeah. So there's a lot of states have it. You just have to make sure you qualify with the usage time on it. All right, now we're going to be moving into a little baby system. This is going to be the 300 plus. 300 plus is a cool one. We're going to grab it. We're going to show it to you. 300 plus, 288 watt hours of power in this little package. 288 watt hours. Now, this can actually be charged in under an hour and a half charge rate on a wall plug through the wall adapter. With this, it has the handle. It's got an AC outlet that does 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 600. Has two USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port, one's a 15-watt port. You also have a 15-watt USB-A port and a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter adapter plug port. You can get a flashlight as well. Now, this actually works with the app, so you do have that excess of the app with this. This is less than 8 pounds. You don't have to worry about it. You can carry it around, no problem. Has a shelling. Works with the app. Now, your charge time. Like I said, under an hour and a half, fully charged on a wall plug. A little over 2.5 hours if you use the USB-C port. If you use the adapter in your car for your cigarette lighter plug, about 4 and a quarter hours with that. Rising Sun, hello, long time no see. To run devices, you're going to get about 4.5 hours on a tower fan, 5 drone batteries, 12 to 13 phone batteries, your laptop about 3 hours. Now, where it's at is, of course, $277 or $227 by itself. This is a cool one. Perfect to get my father-in-law out of it. That's actually cool to know. I did not know it could run an electric chair. That's actually amazing. I do know that this can run your router, though. If you guys want internet up and running, most times when your power's out, your internet still works. 15.5 hours of runtime on that router, which is kind of cool. By itself, guys, it's a great deal, 24% off. But you can also do the kit with the solar panel. Now, that solar panel is, of course, the Mini 40. This is the Mini 40. It's a notebook-sized package. This is going to allow you to put it in a backpack, carry it around. This is a cool kit right here. This is an amazing kit. I'm going to recommend the Mini 40 for the smaller stations if you guys are wanting to take it on a go. This would also work in a bug-out bag. So if you guys just need a smaller amount of power, this would be a good thing to grab if you're in a quick hurry to leave. So great little options right here. So Mini 40 and 300 plus power station. This does a lot of stuff, guys. It could actually run multiple devices without a problem, including your pet heating pad for about 7 hours, your 55-watt heated blanket for 4 hours, your 10-watt Bluetooth speaker, 18 hours, and your flat screen TV about 4 hours. So 300 plus, great option for you. But we are going to move into modular systems. We're running slightly behind today, so we're going to jump into the modular. We're going to the 1000 plus. Now, I did a little something different today with the 1000 systems. We put the battery with the 1000 today because there is an options of batteries with this kit. Now that is the 1000 plus. Now the 1000 plus is 1264 watt hours of power. It is coming in at about $749 today. Now 1264 watt hours of power can be fully charged in under 2 hours without an issue on a wall plug. Now with it though, you guys can run pretty much whatever you really need off of this device. It's got 3 AC outlets that do 2000 watts of pure sine wave power, can peak at 4000 watts. Now you still have the 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, and a flashlight on the front, and that 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter adapter. Now, the 1000 Plus works with, of course, the app. You can control this device with that app. The station alone weighs 32 pounds. Now, $749 is a great price point for the station alone if you just want the station. This station alone will allow you to run a 1150 watt window AC for a little over an hour and 1.1 hours. Let's be honest. Slightly over an hour with that window AC. Your 520 watt refrigerator for a couple hours. You can run multiple devices like your 88 minutes on a weed whacker, which is your little lawnmower, right? Your fridges, your electric cookers, like your 900 watt crock pot and stuff. 15. Can you run a little 15 watt guitar amp? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't see why you couldn't. This is actually really powerful. This is a modular system. Now, I'm just showing you guys the system by itself at first for $749. But we also have the system and 2 solar panels in a kit for $11.99, which is a great deal. Now, that 1000 V2 actually has the option of a free gift, if I can remember correctly, and that 1000 V2 comes with the E1000 Plus. So that's at $1,199. You also get that free gift. Plus, if you really want to, guys, take that 5% off and bring it down to like it's can't remember if it's like $999. Lois, can you yeah, I can't remember the full price with 5% off. But really great options. Now, it comes with 2 of the 100 watt solar panels. Now, it's a really, really cool piece. Now, oh wait, this is the 1000 Plus. No, this does not have that gift. It's the 1000 V2 that has that gift. But we're going to talk about the modular of this system, and that's where it's going to be with the battery. So we have the option of the extended battery in the carousel. That battery is about $479 today. It's normally about $599. This is where it gets kind of cool. Because it is modular, you guys can add 3 batteries to the system. Each battery is going to add 1264 watt hours of power. It can link up to 3 batteries total to give you guys over 5 kilowatts of hour power. That means you can literally run your house off of this device, and it is, of course, small. The cool part is that battery does have a handle to carry it around. It has a digital screen. It also comes with a big orange cable. The orange cable is going to allow you to link it to that. You're going to go from A to B, and link it up. The battery is 20% off if you just want to buy extra batteries for the kit. It's $479. But where it's at is the full kit. I'm going to tell you guys, grab the 1000 Plus kit. The kit's going to be that station, the battery, and 2 solar panels for, if I can remember right, I think it's like $15.99 today, if I can remember correctly. I don't have it sitting in front of me. I should have grabbed up the prices, so I think it's like $15.99 today for that, which is a good price point. That means you just doubled your runtime in a kit of this magnitude. Now, if you really want to, you guys can, of course, triple and quadruple it by adding all 3 batteries on top of that. And that means you guys can run everything under the sun. You guys, extra batteries are $479 today if you just want to get an extra battery. The full kit, though, is $15.99. It's 24% savings. It's normally like $2,100. I love that they give you that option. Now, 10-year lifespan on all of the lithium batteries, so 4,000 charge cycles over 10 years before it drops down to about 70% to 80% battery lifespan. The same as the lithium in my car. Now, 2-hour charge time on a wall plug, under 2 hours, let's be honest, it's an hour and 3/4, so under 2 hours fully charged on a wall plug. If you have the solar panels, it's going to be, of course, a few hours and you're up and running. 30 decibels at max run mode with this. Nicely well done, perfectly set. Now, if you have, of course, all of the batteries, you guys can run so much more. Can it be used wall plug? Yes. You can definitely use it while it's plugged into the solar panel or while it's plugged into the wall. There is no issues with that on hand at all. The cool part is guys, if you spend over $1,000, like I said, use that 5% off, save yourself a few bucks, and you're good to go. That is, of course, the smaller modular system and kit. It's a beautiful kit. It's going to run your house fans, your kitchen stoves, and everything in it. Yep, it will extend your runtime. Now, if you're asking Rising Sun how much it'll extend it, it really depends on how much the input power is compared to the output power. So if you're taking more out than you're charging in, it's going to give you a little longer runtime, but it may not keep up at some point. Now we're going to move over to the next modular system. That's going to be the 2000 Plus system on the side over here. Now that 2000 Plus system is just as big as the 3000 Pro. It's got 2042 watt hours of power by itself. It's actually 41% off today for $12.99 price tag. Now use the 5% off and save yourself a few more bucks as well. 2-hour charge time on a wall plug, you're good to go. 5 AC outlets, 4 of those are 3,000 watts to 6,000 peak. Your fifth, of course, is still 3,000 watts, 6,000 peak. 4 of those are standard 3-prong American style plugs. You then have your 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts, 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts, and the 12-volt adapter. This does work with the app, so you can actually control it with the app. It's also got the 3-inch large wheels on this that you can roll it around like, of course, a suitcase to roll it around, which is kind of cool. I like that you can do that. Now, with it being said, you have that aluminum handle that can actually roll it around. If you have extra batteries, do not roll it around with the extra batteries on top. You don't want to do that. Now, the station alone is going to allow you to run a window AC for about 2 hours without a problem. Your CPAP machine for about 150 hours. Your 200-watt all-in-one desktop PC for about 12 hours of runtime. For those of you that want to do like a microwave, about a little over an hour and a half if it's a 1,000-watt microwave, right? For the professionals that want to use it out in the wood shop or welding shop, half an hour on that Tigger MIG welder, of course, your table saws or your electric saws, a little over an hour and a quarter. For the angle grinders, if you guys are grinding down to bare metal, you're going to get about 4 hours of runtime. Again, the water pumps, about 20 hours of runtime for this. It's a really cool piece for itself. You could run a 3D printer off of this. Most definitely. Now, we also have the option with 2 solar panels. This is going to be the 2000 plus 2 of the solar panels. Now, the solar panels, of course, are the 200-watt solar panels. You get 2 of those in this kit. It's like a 42% savings at $18.99. Now, remember, that's a great price point. It's an amazing price point that's going to do very, very well. You get 2 large solar panels and a station of that magnitude or caliber with that price point. Now, we also have the battery in the carousel because you can actually extend this up and add batteries. Now, that battery, of course, is 2,042 watt hours of power at a $999 price point. That's a 38% savings on the battery alone. It's normally $1,600. So you have the option of the station with solar panels or buying an extra battery. They added that battery on sale this time, so you guys, for the people that have the 2000 plus, you can get the battery at a great price point with it. Now, what I'm going to always suggest is always get the 4000 kit. That is, of course, the 2000 plus kit. Now, the 2000 plus kit means you're going to get the station, the battery that's sitting on top of it, and 2 solar panels. You're going to get 2 of those 200-watt solar panels and the battery in this. That means you have 4,085 watt hours of power on this device. You can run your CPAP machine for over 300 hours without a problem. Now, this is where it's going to get kind of cool. It's so modular, you can actually add 5 batteries to this device total and have 12 kilowatts of hour power. You can literally run your whole house off of that, and that's really, really amazing. Now, another cool part is the station alone can actually have 6 solar panels connected to it. The batteries also have adapter plugs on the back, so you can plug in 2 solar panels per battery. Another great option is you can actually link 2 of these stations together. 2 of these stations running together, and you can actually have 10 batteries. The 10 batteries means you guys have 24 kilowatts of hour power. The even better part of that is you actually just doubled all of your connecting ports. You went from 5 ports to 10 AC ports, from 2 USB-Cs to 4 USB-Cs. The price point on the full kit is $2,599 today. It's 48% off. I really do like that. Yeah. So if you have the solar panels connected up, it's always going to charge off the solar panels first. If you are using nothing connected, it's going to run from that. If you have, of course, the wall plug, it's going to run from the battery, and the wall plug is going to charge. It's just the way it goes. But it's a great kit, guys. An amazing deal, amazing price point at $2,599. I recommend the full kit always. It's going to be able to run your house. It's going to be able to run your fridges, your stoves. It's going to get you through those times of needs, or even if you live on a homestead, it will work for you. I'm not sure if any of you guys follow Nate Petrowski on, of course, the other social medias, but he actually uses these. I think he's done a few videos for Jackery as well. And it's kind of cool to see some of the stuff that he's been using on it. They are amazing prices today. Now, I believe we're moving into, for 3K square foot house, which would be the best one? 3,000 square foot house, if that really depends on how much you really need plugged into it. For a big house, I'm going to tell you get the 2,000 plus stations and add batteries. It really just depends on how much you're trying to run. What's going on here? Sure it is, Sheila. It's always cooperative. All right, let's show you guys some of these solar panels. We're going to go in just showing you guys off solar panels. We're going to start with the Mini 40. I did show it at, of course, the beginning. This is the Mini 40. It's about 12 inches by 10 inches, and it's a 1/2 inch thick. This can fit in your backpack without a problem. It's the size of a 3-ring binder. Now, it does, of course, have their beautiful logo. It has a magnetic clasp that holds it shut. It, of course, is a trifold design, but it is a quad panel. This is a 4-panel piece. It is still monocrystalline solar cells, and will do about 23% conversion rate in converting light to power, which is nice. This is great for the smaller stations. It will work on, of course, the 100 plus. It'll work all the way up to the 500. Technically, it can plug into the E1000, but I don't recommend it. It's not really going to charge it where you really want to. This is a really amazing little solar panel. There you go. Yeah, that's the one I suggested for the larger houses because of the expandability and the option of adding a lot of solar panels. The 2000 plus just allows you to load a lot of panels to, of course, even the batteries, which is kind of cool. Mini 40, guys. This is an amazing little solar panel. Now, I actually don't see a price point on this. I know it was like $94 last night. Not seeing a price today, but really cool solar panel. Fully waterproof, water resistant, IP68 rating. It can be hosed down if it gets dirty. You don't have to worry about it. It does, of course, come with the cable. That's what I was just checking myself. I also see that the price is not showing. They might be sold out already because even I think it looks like the 100 watt panel doesn't have a price either. Lois, can you check on that to see if these are available or if they're out of stock already? Scotty, I'm actually having that checked myself because I am looking at it too and I don't see prices for it. So we will have Lois check that and see. But really cool piece, guys. Mini 40 is a nice option. With that being said, it comes in a kit with the 300 plus if you guys need to. Also comes in the kit with the 240 V2 as an option as well. So there are options to get that with the kits. All right, so there it is. There's an issue with the website itself. Add it to your cart, and it should pop up at some point. Now, remember, guys, these deals will last for a few days, so you're not going to miss it if it doesn't pop up just right at the second. But definitely add it to your cart right now if you guys want to check out with it in a while. So there you go, Scotty. A little bit of a problem. They are dealing with it. Thank you, Lois. I appreciate that. Now, we are going to show you guys the next solar panel. This is going to be the 100 watt solar panel as well. Now, the 100 watt solar panel is kind of cool. There are a few options. They have a new version right here. They also have the 100 watt Prime, which is a modular system, or the one we're showing you guys today, which is this system right here. Now, still fully waterproof, water resistant. This is compatible with the 1000 V2, the 1500. Actually, I'm on the wrong one thinking about it. That is not compatible with those. This is compatible with the 100 plus all the way up to the 1000. There you guys go. Misspoke with that one. I jumped ahead of myself. With it, it's got a kickstand, can be fully set up in under 10 seconds without a problem. Waterproof, has an ETFE laminated handle, will do 100 watts at 18 volts. Now, this is where it's kind of cool with this one. If you guys notice, there's nothing really holding it shut. It's got magnets built in that magnetically hold it shut for you. Now, on the back, it's got this little zip-up pocket. The zip-up pocket back here, when you open it up, has a 9.5-foot cable. The cable actually comes with dual adapters depending on the power station that you're plugging it into. So it has both styles of plugs for the sizing. Now, it also has this little orange piece back here that's got a USB-C port and a USB-A port. The USB-C port will allow you to charge your iPhones or other devices up to about 9 volts. With that, the USB-A port will allow you to do, of course, 5 volt, 2.4 amps. Now, with this, it is a monocrystalline solar cell that actually is nice and large. If I actually move this way, you guys can kind of hopefully see how it grabs the light off my lighting with that. This is a great piece. Very, very beautiful piece. This is going to do well for a lot of people. It's an amazing solar panel. And there are, of course, multiple options of the 100-watt panels for you out there. Now, for those of you that want to get a larger solar panel, you guys can get the 200-watt Solar Saga solar panel that is going to work with the 1000 V2, the 1500 Pro, the 2000 Pro, the 2000 Plus, and 3000 Pro system. The 200 panel, I do have it sitting here because I wanted to kind of show you guys the casing. This is the case it comes with. It's actually got a clasp. We are not unfolding this because it is definitely too large, and it's also 22 pounds. But it's got a zipper. The zipper, of course, will zip down both sides to allow you to access the inside of this with that. Now, with that being said, there's actually a 9.5-foot cable inside this package as well. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys a video of me actually opening it up and running it with that. What's the main difference between the 1000 V2 versus... So the 1000 and the 1000 V2 is a jump from lithium to LiFePO. The 1000 V2 also has what's called Charge Shield 2.0, which means you can actually have it charged in a 1-hour charge time on a wall plug. As where the 1000 is about a 5-hour charge rate on a wall plug to charge it. Now, it also jumps up in wattage, so you go from the 1000 watts on the AC plugs to 1500 watts on the AC plugs. Now, the 1500 watts is a standard, of course, pure sine wave, but can peak at 3000 with that. So there's are some of your differences. Also, it comes with multiple USB-C ports and a USB-A port. It has different charge rate with those. One's a 100-watt port, one's a 30-watt port. The USB-A port is an 18-watt port. It's also still got a flashlight on the front instead of on the side. Also, housing change and weight. The original 1000 weighs about 22 pounds. The 1000 V2 is about 16. I think it's like 16 pounds or something. Looking to power my barn. Can you leave it on 24/7? Mr. Stone, if you're talking about the larger 2000 plus, yes, you can leave it on. It really depends on how much power you have plugged into it. If you are just plugged into it and not having solar recharging it, it may run certain devices. It just really depends on how much you're pulling out. Hey, yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad I can answer that. Now, with it, we're going to show you guys the video of this 200-watt panel that I am pulling out. You're going to see me unclasp it and unzip it. So, Mr. Stone, the 2000 plus system can actually add up to 5 batteries, which means you have 12 kilowatts of hour power with that one. You can actually add double stations. You can connect 2 of those 2000 plus and have 10 batteries and have 24 kilowatts of hour power. So yeah, it definitely has a good amount of power to run through those. If it's just the station alone, it's of course a little over 2000 watts of power. It's like 2,042 watts of power by itself. And then you add batteries to it, and it will extend the battery range. The station alone can have 6 solar panels by itself. The battery can add a couple extra batteries as well. There's actually an option for the wall adapter as well to plug into your power devices to kick on automatically too. That's separate though. You'd have to get that as a separate piece. Now back to the 200 solar panel right here, guys. 9.5-foot cable is bright orange. It has a 90-degree angle adapter, and it has a straight, of course, adapter. Now with it, I do always recommend getting the 16.5-foot cable to extend that cable so your power station's out of the sun or out of the rain as well. The solar panel is totally fine in the rain. The stations are not waterproof, so you do want to protect those. You should be able to have this set up in under 20 seconds with no problem. I had it set up in about 30 seconds. Of course, I was recording and trying to keep my neighbors away from walking over while I was recording. Within 10 seconds of it being plugged in, I grabbed my camera, walked over, and it's already pulling 153 watts out of the light and charging at 153 watts, which is amazing. Now, add 6 of those panels, and you guys can see how quick these stations can actually charge up to. Now, that is, of course, the 3000 Pro that I'm plugging it into. It's the same housing as the 2000 Plus, but it would be the same with, of course, plugging in the solar panels into that. So a really great option right there of having that 200-watt panel, fully waterproof, water resistant. It's an amazing, amazing piece with it. Hey, no problem. If I can answer, I'm definitely here to answer those questions. I've had quite a bit of hands-on time with these. I've been doing these shows for a little over, I think it's a little over a year now over here. So definitely been getting a lot of know-how and running with these. And I've actually been taking them out with me and doing random things. I'm actually going on vacation in August, and I plan on taking a couple more with me on that vacation to see what it can do with those as well. It's really kind of cool to do that. Now, I have a buddy that likes that drag races. He has, of course, a dragster. He actually does professional racing. He just won, of course, a trophy for doing that. And he was actually asking me questions if it can actually run his power tools and charge his lithium battery off of these. And that's a really good idea to have them in your toy haulers, your RVs and stuff. They all have their options. Now, the really cool part is I'm going to tell you guys this. For the 1500s and down, they have carrying bags. So you guys can get carrying bags options. We have those in the carousel for you. There are 3 options. It's a large, a medium, and a small carrying bag. So they do have that. Now, remember, guys, Lois just posted it. There's your discounts. I'll show you your options of getting free product. Now, the one free product I will show you guys is the hat. This, of course, is your free hat that comes with buying a power station. It's a nice hat. It's got a nice long bill that will keep you guys out of the sun. And, of course, one size fits most with that. Another option, of course, is the 3000 Pro that's going to come with the free 240 V2. Now, that 3000 Pro is the kit with solar panels. I believe the E1000 and solar panel and the E1000 V2 with solar panels comes with the E1000 Plus, which is the little mini 99 watt-hour power station. So you have options there. Now, don't forget, guys, I'm going to be back later tonight on here on the Jackery channel streaming again. We're going to be showing you guys some of these products again, of course, tonight with that. I want to thank you guys all for being here, but remember we're here most of the week. You guys are going to see multiple shows, multiple things. Make sure to grab those deals and put them in your carousel. Thank you for joining. I had a lot of fun. Always give a follow so you guys know when we're here, and also hit that live notification. I will see you guys later, and have a good one. Later, everybody.